Today I'm going to teach you how to make a simple elastic waist skirt. First thing you'll need is one piece of fabric in one color, and then you're going to need another piece of fabric for your band color. You'll also need a piece of 1-inch elastic. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to create our folds. Our band fabric we're going to take long ways like this and fold it in half, kind of like a taco. Then iron it in half. We'll set that aside. The next piece we're going to take is the main part of our skirt. And what we're going to do here is fold the top part of our skirt down about 1/4 inch and iron that all the way across. Then we're going to take it and fold it down about 1.5 inches and iron that all the way across. This helps set up our waistband later when we add our elastic. Now we're going to take the edges, short edges, and put those together and give us a couple pins to hold this in place while we sew it. So that's our main skirt, and then also on our band we're going to do the same thing. So we'll open up our iron fold and put those edges together with a couple of pins. Now we're ready to sew them together. Now we're going to take the band and sew the short ends together. Make sure you backstitch on each end. And we'll clip that off. Now we're going to sew the main part of the skirt on the short side. Make sure your folds that you ironed stay unfolded. Going to sew down a little bit, backstitch. Take your pins out as you go. Make sure you're keeping that foot's width seam allowance, which is about 1/4 inch. You want to make sure they're the same for your main skirt as also as your band, so they'll lock together. Now on the main part of the skirt here has a rough edge, and we're going to go ahead and serge that just to make it nice and finished looking. Now that we have both our skirt and our band piece sewn together, we're going to join those together. Now we did a nice iron fold on our band earlier, so we're going to take this piece and fold it in half on that band just like we did before when we did in the pillowcase video. We're going to find our side seam, and then the side seam on our band will go right here with the side seam on the main part of our skirt. You want to put this band on the opposite end where you did your ironing folds. So we're going to give him a pin, then stretch it out to the other side. You want to make sure you're putting these raw edges to raw edges together. Now you could also make this skirt with a ruffle edge too, but this is a lot easier for your first skirt. So now I'll give you a couple pins in the middle just to hold it in place while you're sewing. Now we're going to go sew it. Now we're going to sew the band to the bottom of our skirt. Make sure you use the foot's width again, backstitch at the beginning of your stitch line, and go all the way around. I like to sew my band to the skirt this way on the inside, so it's easier to make sure you don't get anything caught up underneath your skirt as you're sewing. Make sure you take those needles out as you're going around. Now here at the end, make sure you backstitch. Now you see we have this raw edge that's kind of fraying a whole lot. So you can either use your pinking shears or serge this edge to make it look a little more professional. I'm just going to go ahead and serge one because I have that. Now that we have our band sewn and serged, we're going to top stitch it. And top stitch means just sewing about 1/8 of an inch from your edge. We're going to sew right here on the brown area of our skirt. And I always like to start at a side seam like this so that you can start and stop right at that side seam. Put your back stitch and sew all the way around. And this will keep your band from flipping up as you're wearing it. As you come to the end here, make sure you back stitch again. Now, the next thing we're going to need is our elastic. And you want your elastic to be exactly what your waist measurement is. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to overlap the elastic, sew over it a couple times, to make it nice and strong. Take our skirt, turn them right side out, and up at the top where you made those folds with the iron earlier, you're going to help create your casing for your elastic. So basically it's like a big rubber band we're going to tuck in here. Now you want to make sure when you fold over your fabric and you're sewing that you don't sew on that elastic. You want to feel like you have at least a good finger's width between where that elastic is pushed up to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that. You're going to stretch that elastic as you're going around the skirt. So just do about 4 inches at a time. So stop, adjust, and keep sewing. You can feel the elastic with your finger as you're going around, so you make sure you don't sew over it. And once we get to the end, when it gets all squinched up, it'll be a lot harder to use. So you notice mine's starting to bunch up already. So now we're going to have to kind of start squinching that elastic up with the fabric. As we're coming to the end here, you're going to have to really pull to make that elastic fit. And there you go. And that is how you make a skirt. Now that your skirt is all sewn, you're going to adjust your gathers of your elastic just by stretching it out a little bit. Then you want to give it a good press with your iron. Now your skirt's all done.